Alrighty, so we are looking at our monthly chart, guys. Welcome in. We're back to another video, another day, another dollar. Looking at our monthly chart, trying to come back into a balance on the monthly. We took out last month's high, pushing up, looking pretty good. Looking to come back and take out this high here. For some reason, my floating. We'll get that real quick so I can see data. Last month's high was 57.73.25. I said in yesterday's video, or not yesterday, but Friday's video, that we needed to get back above the 5,600 level, right? If we got above the 5,600 level, or it kept or held, held the 5,650 level, got back above the 5,700 level, and firmly above the 5,724 level, we would go and see the 5773s and even potentially the 5,800 level. Well, we're doing that right now. Monthly is back to balance. We're trying to create that balance. Now, if we take out last month's high, way up here at 6,000, that would be an impressive push by the bulls. Just lacking volume so far. But if we do get up there to that 6,000 level, then we'll start pushing up into all-time highs, but it would still be balanced. The only way it wouldn't is if we stayed right here for the remainder of the month, and then the month of June we push up, then we would be one time framing up. But we still got a long ways to go, still in just a balance. So pretty large balance at that for the monthly. All right, if we look at our weekly chart, is one time framing up. We've come out of balance. We took out that weekly high of 57.73, which is that weekly high that I wanted to take out, that monthly high that I needed to take out for me to be up on the weekly and put the monthly back to balance. So the weekly is one time framing up. I wish I had held my SPY calls that I had. I had 575s, and I sold them whenever we were up here near that high, because I was like, you know what? If we don't get up there, don't get a push, I'll take it off. So I did, made money on it. However, I wish I would have held them because I would be in the money pretty good as of today. But weekly is one time framing up. The daily, on the other hand, is also one time framing up with a gap. Oh, that brings me to another point. We have a weekly and a daily gap. Weekly gap, daily gap. On the upside, daily gap is pretty large. You can see where we were in our daily balance. We had an inside day. I told you guys on Friday what we were looking for on an inside day up or an inside day down. Possibility inside day up. I gave you those targets on the upside, and we pretty much smashed them all to bits on the upside. So very, very good push by the bulls today, coming out of balance and just one time framing up pretty strong here. Decent volume. Not the worst, but decent volume. Let's see, about 2 million, or excuse me, 1.6 million. So not crazy, but still good volume. Pushing up. If we continue to one time frame up, we will target these highs right here of 58.84. If we do that, get above that, then you'll target this high of 6,000, which is also that monthly high back in March. So it's going to take a lot of effort to get there. It's going to take a lot of effort to push through that level, as that was an outside day down scenario, I do believe, which led us to pushing down even lower. So look for that moving forward. As far as today went, trading was well. I did pretty solidly. I only took one position. Technically 3 trades, but 1 position. Basically all I was doing all day long was looking for this 58.20 level to pretty much hold, 58.20 to 58.15. The reason for that, if I pull up my 30-minute chart, the reason for that is because we had a distribution day from, I think it was this day here. Yeah, we had a triple distribution day down from the 3rd. Okay, the lower distribution was 58.83 down to the day's low at 58.21. And since we were back inside that, you can see these 2 days here were basically identical. The 4th and the 5th, basically identical in the sense of how we got into that distribution, but never could find acceptance. So today, what I was looking for was a hold above that 58.21 level, and that would give me confidence. So 58.21 was more or less my level that I wanted to see us hold on the upside. We had a little bit of a, what was it? I hate when it does that. Had a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a correction to the 100-day moving average, held that beautifully, and I was pretty much long on this whole pullback. I was long from 58.27 whenever we pulled back in A period, stayed long, added around 58.20s because we were right there at that level for me. And then as we continued to pull back, I seen that we held that 100-day moving average. On my Delta chart here, I've seen that sellers were really pushing, but weren't getting much more movement to the downside. They were trying to push, but really wasn't getting paid for what they were trying to do at the time. And then I was looking at tick as well, and it was starting to tick up to a more positive level. So I added at 57.09 or 58.09, excuse me, 58.09 is where I added. And I was pretty much just looking for this market to rotate back up and eventually get to B's high, and then A's high, and then the overnight high. Whenever we pushed up in C period, I had to make a decision on whether or not I was going to get out of the position. So at 58.37, I decided to take off 2 of the contracts I had on. It pulled back and consolidated between 58.30 and 58.37 for a little bit. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get out of this position. I'm up good on the day. And let's just see what the rest of the day does. So once I seen that D period and E period was pretty much just an inside bars chopping around, I had no more interest in this market. I did talk with Paul and them in the room. I said, holding the excess of C's low and that 58.15 level, if we can hold that, I do still think that we would go up and see the CA's high, the IB high, and the overnight high at some point. I think we would see the highs of days, and sure enough, we got that. And had I been willing to put risk on, I think that was a great trade, buying E and F's lows at 58.15, and then maybe using getting into that excess as you're out, depending on how much you wanted to risk. And obviously, looking back at it now, it was a great trade. I mean, look, you pushed up, you finally stopped the one-time framing down, because you were one-time framing down for basically 2 hours, 2.5 hours. You were one-time framing down until F period was a reversal bar, took out the one-time framing, and then you stopped out the shorts, which led to this pretty large run up, eventually leading to getting the IB high and the overnight high late in the day. So it was, mixed signals, hard to read. However, holding that 58.21 to 58.15 level was a tremendous feat for the buyers. And I think moving forward into tomorrow, if we can get above that 58.83 level, we will have more room up to 59.30, or even the 5900s. But I think we would have room up to that level. We can get above here. We may begin to try to find some type of acceptance in that middle distribution up into 59.30s, and then above that you have the 6,000 levels up above, right? So I think that's going to be a huge upside target. Get above 58.83 on the upside. I think you're going to be doing well. I think it's going to be imperative tomorrow that we hold the afternoon pullback lows down here at F. I think if you hold 58.15, if you ever pull back to this level, you need to hold 58.15. Otherwise, you're going to see the day's low at 58.05 and then get into this rather large gap. I mean, you look at this gap, it's pretty large. And you have a 11 wide point of control down here that will have to be hit at some point if we do pull back. You have this point of control here that hasn't been hit. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wide point of control here. That did not get hit because of the gap. And then you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 wide point of control right there at the 5680 level. So if tomorrow we have any type of pullback and we do not hold the 5820 to 5815 level, then taking out the day's low, coming back into a balance and getting into this gap is pretty positive or pretty likely. However, if we open above, let's just say M's low 5840 and push up and take out the day's high, that 5883 level is going to be your target on the upside, 5883. And then from 5883 to 5900 pretty much is going to be your next 20-point resistant level. And then from that point forward, if you can get above 5900, you're looking up to 5930s. All right. We did a pretty good amount of consolidation early on in the day. So with that, tomorrow, wherever the overnights may be, I think it's going to be very key that we get them early on, so that we have some type of direction. And we may even end up, the last thing you want to do is open up below M's range and just chop between 5815 and 5850. That's not where you want to be. You don't want to be in anywhere within that range. I think that's going to be a pretty rough range to be in. You're going to experience a lot of chop if you open below 5850 and inside the day's range. Now, if we open above that and push up, I think we'll have, like I said, good legs to the upside, which we can look forward to. Overall today, like I said, my trading was very good. I had a lot of risk on, but because of everything that we had in favor of the buyers, I think it was worth the risk. It was a very good setup, in my opinion. Like I said, I traded it well. I kind of wish I would have added more at the lows, or maybe even been more patient with the first position in A period. Maybe I should have waited out A period, see what B period did in order to get into the position initially, and then look to add, because my out that I had initially was going to be the 5800 level, basically half back from the overnight session. Because if we got below that, I think, you were going to get into this gap pretty good. So tomorrow, that's what I'm looking for. Hold above 5815. If we open up inside, expect a whole lot of chop. Above 5850, you look for 5883. Above 5883, you look for 5930. Above 5930, you look for 6,000. Those are my levels on the upside. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Catch you guys in the next one. See ya.